Your parents lied to you. They told you that if you studied hard and got that magical six-figure job, you'd be set for life. You'd be rich. Well, welcome to 2026. I just ran the math, and I have bad news. $100,000 isn't a golden ticket anymore. It's a survival coupon. Back in 1995, 100 grand bought you a house, two cars, and a vacation. Today, after Uncle Sam takes his cut, your landlord takes his ransom, and the grocery store robs you blind, that wealthy salary actually qualifies you for a one-bedroom apartment and a lifetime of anxiety. We aren't just feeling broke. We are mathematically being erased. I'm the tired investor. And today I'm going to show you exactly how the American dream turned into a math problem that has no solution. Meet John. John just got the promotion he's been working toward for 5 years. He now makes $100,000 per year. John thinks he made it. His family is proud, as his friends are jealous. He finally feels like he's part of the club, the six-figure club. But here's what nobody told John. That $100,000, it's an illusion. Let's start with taxes. The federal government takes about 22% right off the top. That's $22,000 gone before John even sees his first paycheck. Then there's state income tax. Depending on where John lives, that's another $4,000 to $5,000. Social Security and Medicare, another $7,600. We're already down to $65,000. John hasn't bought a single thing yet, and 35% of his wealthy salary has vanished. But wait, we're just getting started. Now let's talk about inflation. The official inflation rate is around 3%. But let's be honest, your grocery bill didn't go up 3%. Real inflation on the things you actually buy, food, gas, rent, is closer to 7 to 10% annually. That quietly steals another $6,000 of purchasing power from John's salary. We're down to $59,000. Now let's get John a place to live. He lives in a decent city because that's where the six-figure jobs are. Average rent for a one-bedroom apartment? $2,400 per month. That's $28,800 per year. We're now at $30,200 remaining. But rent doesn't include utilities, internet, or his phone bill. Add another $3,000 annually. John's down to $27,200. Remember how John got this job? He went to college. Which means he has student loans. Average student loan debt is around $50,000 with a 6% interest rate. His monthly payment? $555. That's another $6,600 per year. We're down to $20,600. John needs a car because America isn't exactly built for public transit. Average car payment is $450 per month. Insurance is another $150. Gas is $200. That's $9,600 annually for the privilege of getting to work. John now has $11,000 left for the entire year. That's for food, clothes, toiletries, doctor visits, dentist appointments, haircuts, and literally everything else. 11,000 divided by 365 days equals $30 per day. John makes six figures and has $30 a day to live on. Let that sink in. This is the guy society tells you made it. This is financial success in modern America. God forbid John gets sick. One emergency room visit wipes out 4 months of that remaining money. What if he wants to get married, have kids, take a vacation, save for retirement? Those aren't even on the table yet. We're still just covering survival. Now let's time travel. In 1990, the median home price was $130,000. The median household income was $30,000. That's a 4.3 times multiplier. Today, the median home price is $420,000. Median household income is $75,000. That's a 5.6 times multiplier. Houses got 30% harder to afford relative to wages. College tuition in 1990? $3,500 per year. Today, it's $35,000. That's a 10 times increase while wages only doubled. Education became a luxury tax. A gallon of gas in 1990 cost $1.16. Today, it's $3.50. Groceries have tripled in price while paychecks grew by 70% if you're lucky. The John of 1990 had breathing room. The John of 2026 has financial asphyxiation. This isn't complaining. This is math. And the math is screaming at us. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed to extract maximum value from your labor. You're not failing. You're on a treadmill that speeds up every year while your legs stay the same speed. They tell you the economy is booming, and they're right for the people who already own everything. The top 1% now owns more wealth than the entire middle class combined. Productivity went up 40% in 30 years. Your salary? Up 12%. You worked harder, got more efficient, generated more profit. Someone else collected the difference. So yes, John makes $100,000, and yes, he's basically broke. Not because he's bad with money, not because he's lazy or entitled, but because the cost of basic existence has outpaced wages by such a massive margin that survival itself became expensive. Your grandparents bought a house on a factory salary. Your parents needed 2 incomes. You need a 6-figure job and 3 roommates. The American dream didn't die. It was priced out of existence. And here's the worst part. While your wages stay flat, asset prices are exploding. If you don't already own assets, you're locked out of wealth creation entirely. The gap between owners and earners isn't closing, it's accelerating. And every year you wait, the math gets worse. The hole gets deeper. So what's the move? First, understand that saving your way to wealth is no longer viable. You can't outsave inflation when your savings account pays 0.5% and inflation runs at 7%. You have to become an owner, not just an earner. You need your money working harder than you do. That means investing in assets that appreciate. Index funds, real estate, even starting a side business. Second, ruthlessly audit your expenses. Every subscription, every convenience fee, cut what doesn't serve you. The difference between $30 spent and $30 invested compounds into completely different lives. Third, play the long game. This isn't about getting rich next month. It's about consistent, patient, strategic moves that build momentum over years. The system is rigged, but it's not invincible. You just can't beat it by playing their game. You beat it by changing the rules for yourself, by opting out of their treadmill. I ran the numbers because I wanted you to see clearly, not to depress you, but to arm you with the truth. $100,000 isn't the finish line anymore. It's barely the starting line. And once you accept that, you can actually start playing to win. The tired investor isn't tired of trying. He's tired of the lies. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button. We're going deeper next time. Stay tired, stay aware, and most importantly, stay investing.